Hello and welcome to episode 42 of Love is a Battlefield, the Domestic Violence Podcast. My name is Tilly Moore, and today we are talking about something everyone's been talking about. And by the time this one comes out, you'll be like, I'm so over it, I don't want to hear it again. But I thought if I don't mention it, it's kind of sad when my whole podcast is about, domestic violence and the root cause of that, misogyny and violence against women. So it has to be spoken about. And you never know, I may say something different because I am weird and that's what I do. The Bondi Murders. And I have called it Bondi Murders in the podcast title. Some people are calling it terrorist attack. Other people just calling it the Bondi attack. And this is like a terrorist attack, I guess you could say, that happened in Australia, in Sydney, in this suburb called Bondi. I kind of smile because Bondi is where all the generally it's known as where like all the Instagram, all the influencers kind of flock to. Like they will move from the other side of Australia to go and live in Bondi. It's like not what you know, it's who you know. It's expensive to live there. Bondi Beach is a famous beach because it's got a show called Bondi Rescue where they show the lifeguards, and a lot of tourists go there. And it's a beach that is pretty rough because it's quite open to the ocean and it's right near Sydney. It's a very popular place. And I don't think I've ever been to Bondi. I've been to somewhere, a beach near Sydney, but I think it's like north of the city, not Bondi. But I don't know. I was young when I went to a beach in Sydney. But maybe I did go to Bondi. Yeah, I think when we walked a lot. I don't know. It's just a beach. Been to a lot of beaches in Australia, as you do when you're Australian. But Bondi, it has this thing where people will like go to the gym and then walk along the beachfront with their shirts off. People who've been on reality shows always go there hoping to get photos, or they set up fake pap photo sessions with like the Daily Mail and stuff. It's a very influencer kind of get your lip filler out place. And this man came from Queensland down there with the intention, well, allegedly, but he's dead, so whatever, with the intention to murder women. So he went to the Westfield Shopping Centre, which in America you would call it a mall. He went to the mall. It's a big shopping centre, and he just started stabbing women and babies and not men. And there's footage that we've all seen on the news where he's running up trying to stab all the women, and then there's a man and he's like, oh no, and runs away. And another man, he runs past the men, but he actually stabbed a baby. He's standing there stabbing a baby. No one's doing anything. It's a knife. Like, he doesn't have a gun. There are no guns. Well, there are guns in Australia, but we have gun laws, so the average person can't just grab a gun when they're feeling like they want homicidal feelings. So he had a knife. And so he's standing there stabbing a baby, and there's I men are running and men are hiding. Men are running and hiding from. He's not going for men. Obviously, the men didn't know that at the time, but he's standing there stabbing a baby. I don't know. I would have run up behind him and tackled him. It's a knife. It's a blade on the end of a handle. If enough of you do that, like, you can get him. I did see some footage of a couple of men running with a chair, hoping to throw a chair. Like, if you tackle him from behind, like, he's not Superman. He's not go gadget, go gadget. I don't know if you know that. There was Inspector Gadget was like a cartoon back in the day. He had these arms that like were long and could wrap around you and everything. He's a person. Like, it's just because we've all been taught by watching, shootings in America and everything. Protect yourself, run away, get away. But he's standing there stabbing a baby, a little baby, 9 months old, and then he starts stabbing the mum because obviously the mum's like, oh, don't stab my baby, and he stabs the mum and he actually murders the mum. They took her to hospital and that, but she passed away. And then after he ran away to the next person to stab, men come along that were watching and help with the bleeding, like grab clothes off clothing racks and help the bleeding and stuff. And the media were like, oh my gosh, they're heroes, they help with the bleeding. And a lot of us were like, what were they doing while he was like, because if you're stabbing a baby, like that's you got to aim, like that's a small thing. You've got to actually go up and like do it, and then you've got to do the mum. Like, what were these people running? Were the men running? Like, I don't want to assume anything, but just like, yeah, I know they say don't do anything, don't be a hero. It's a knife. It's frustrating. Like, anyway, so this man went around and he murdered all these women. He murdered one man because that was the security guard, and the security guard, was trying to do his job and trying to apprehend him, and so he got killed. But he was just targeting women, and his father went to the media and said it was because he was upset because he couldn't get a girlfriend, so he wanted to go out and kill women. And that's just disgusting. It's it just says a lot about the state of domestic violence in Australia and the world. I'm not disregarding other countries. Like, everyone everywhere has just shared so much trauma that women experience from men each, and crime that women experience from men each and every day. But in Australia there's this other culture that's like the white, I talked about it in the last episode, like these white entitled men who are just like, like, well, I'm owed a woman and everything. And I don't know, I kind of think like being like Christian or whatnot, like it stems back to like the book that was written by men, um, called the Bible, where at the start it says women are a rib. And that's not fact. A lot of people who go to churches think that that is like the story is fact. Now, the people who wrote that book were humans, and a lot of Christians like to think, and now I've gone on a tangent, but let's just roll with it. A lot of Christians like to think that they were possessed by God and the Holy Spirit to write the words that God wanted written. And there's a lot of stuff in there where you're like, that's like, one story comes to mind, these women who disguise themselves so they could have sex with their father to get knocked up by their dad or something. Like, there's some serious shit that goes down in the old, like, if you were ever like, I'm going to read the Bible, because you know how people like bash Christianity, yet have you read the Bible? Like, people were bashing Hillsong, so I was like, I'm going to go along. I'm going to go to Hillsong, see what it's all about. Like, I'm going to go see what because I feel like I can't judge something unless I know about it. So I went along, and then this person who I'd been friends with, but she had an issue. She just went, I'm blocking you because I saw that you went to Hillsong. And I said, I just went to check it out and see what it's about. I don't know if I'm a fan. Like, it wasn't, good or anything. I just wanted to know what happens there. Like, because I'd heard that it was all like bad and stuff. So she's like, well, you went in there, so we're not friends anymore. And I'm like, that's so judgy. And you know what ended up happening? I never went again, and not because of her. I was, I just reflected on what I'd seen and went, yeah, no. But like, like, you don't judge people either way. You don't. That's like some Christian bigot being like, judging you because you walked into that dark alley of fun. Yeah, they're just jealous because you walked into a dark alley of fun and had fun. Uh, anyway, I'm trying to backtrack now. Backpedal. All right. So, yeah, people think that like women are ribs. People think Adam was made and Eve literally is made from the rib of a man, just because God made a man and then went, I need a servant for him. Well, no, because we are human too. And that's just a story that a man added to the Bible. But like, the people who wrote the Bible were not there in Adam and Eve times. They just sort of, and Adam and Eve themselves don't even, like, they're people. The first humans, they don't even know where they came from. Like, they're just there, like, I'm a person. Like, she doesn't know she's a freaking rib. Like, so I would always say to like my friends, like, who went to church, and like when it came up in conversation, something about, oh, women, or what's your opinion? Sometimes I just go, I don't know, I'm just a rib. Like, because it just hit me one day that there's this book that sort of says, like, well, you're just a rib. But you know, like, even Eve didn't know she was a rib. So some guy just wrote in the when he wrote his bit, because the book is a whole lot of books put into one book. And apparently there were all these men that sat around a table once and decided and prayed about it and decided what went into the book. But some guy went, yeah, well, I reckon Eve's a rib. Eve was taken from, and maybe he had a vision. Maybe God sent him a vision. Maybe God said because God wanted. Who knows? Like, no one knows everything until you die, and then you're like, oh. So anyone who's like on Earth going, I know this 1,000,000%. This is the 100% truth. You are all wrong. It's like, bitch, really. So yeah. So misogyny. How did I get to Adam and Eve? Look, do you know? Do I know? Do any of us know? But we went there and it was great. And now let's backpedal. Beep, beep, beep. Let's go back. So this dude ran around and stabbed women because he was just like not well, and also he wanted to murder women. People are arguing about this now, saying, well, don't make it about violence against women. He murdered a whole bunch of women intentionally because they're women. He went to the shops looking for anything with vagina to end its life. That's violence against women. That's targeted violence against women. People are going the mental health route. They're like, oh, mental health, it's on us, it's on us, it's on us. You know why? You want to know why? Because society always blames women when men are violent. So, how do we do it in this instance? We blame women and men. Like, we blame ourselves for not nurturing him enough, for not giving him a better mental health care. We say it's our fault as women that we were murdered. Not we, but like we as a women were murdered by him because we didn't give him adequate mental health care. It's that victim blaming thing. And yes, 1,000,000%, I worked for the public mental health system, and it is very poorly underfunded. And I've heard podcasters talk about it and say, you know, they've had friends and they can't get admitted to a mental health facility. And it's like, well, yeah, because what the people we had admitted to the ward, to get admitted to, should I tell you this secret? No, to get admitted to a ward, you have to be a risk to yourself or others. So you're trying to kill people or trying to kill yourself, because that system is that understaffed and that underfunded. There's just not understaffed, but like no facilities. There's just nothing. We used to have mental health institutions, but because they were abusing people, because that's what men do when they get power and control, they just go all rapey rape and abusey abuse on like vulnerable people. So you can imagine the horrors, and we've all heard the horrors that happened in mental institutions back in the day. Ugh. So, like they did with our special schools in Australia, or most of them, they've closed them down. And I get like closing them down because they were horrible places, but they could have reformed the system and kept those facilities and kept the buildings, renovated them, and brought in, you know, new staff and new policies and procedures, because there needs to be a place for people who are not well. And we had people who were like lifelong, like cannot be in society, very unsafe for them to be in society. But because it's due to a mental illness, they won't put them in prison, yet they are actively violent in society and very much a risk to others. You know, serial killers aren't mentally well. You can't tell me serial killers and murderers are mentally completely well and fine. So, but they're in prisons. Prison should be a place where people stay when they don't play well with others. You know, it's to protect the community. The idea of a prison is to protect the community, because prisons don't have therapy programs. Oh my gosh, don't even start me on how the prisons need to have therapy. Men who need therapy are dangerous. Give them therapy in prison. Have little therapy groups where they share their childhood stuff, they open up. That's what they need. And no, it's not, oh, we're not going to give them therapy. We're just going to lock them in a cell and keep them away from society because that teaches them a lesson. Yeah, but while they're there, I mean, yes, it's funding. But while they're like, give them these men, if they can just get some therapy. I mean, there's still a lot of them that won't, leopards don't change spots kind of thing, but they're just sitting and they're just sitting there. They're getting bored, so they're starting to do things they shouldn't do in prison and like fights and everything. They just need to like talk about feelings. Anyway, so I saw it firsthand. So the kind of people patients we had on the public wards were very, very unwell. We're talking schizoaffective disorder, schizophrenia, bipolars that have been off medication and not slept for weeks. So they're literally trying to kill you, where they're like usually the most sweetest, most beautiful person ever. Like some of our patients were just absolutely beautiful. But when they were unwell, they were very, very unwell. And people who were like actively like doing anything, using anything they can find, like to try and harm themselves, like extreme, 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 because there's nowhere for people who aren't well to go. So it's the most extreme of the extreme that get the beds. And then you got to move people on and discharge people who really still need a place to go. There's just not enough facilities. So it's not to make the facilities and the nurses working in the facilities feel worse. It's the system designed by men um, that has not given funding to create facilities or took the funding away. There is a criminal facility, I know in Queensland for criminally insane people, and it's overflowed. Like you cannot get someone in there. So it's just, and apparently they would cut funding to it and were shutting parts of it down. A man made that decision. A man, like a politician man, made that decision. Someone made that decision. So this is why you can't get into mental health well. The criminally insane have nowhere to go. They lock them in these little units and little psych intensive care units, like in the public system, and then they're taking up beds that were designed for people in a mental health crisis who need love, support, care, nurturing, nursing, doctors, medication, the works and jerks, So cutting funding to it, it's like a male, like the politicians, it's the men. But society still would like to say, well, you're not caring enough for them. So that's why they're doing it. Yes, mental health is an issue, but I know, speaking as someone who spoke to all my patients and talked to them, there were a lot that had a lot of very not good thoughts, very like homicidal or suicidal thoughts. And when they had those thoughts, they would reach out and get help. And if they had those thoughts, like we're admitting them, like we're giving them a place so that they're safe and people around them are safe, right? And they work hard to keep themselves safe and others safe. And they know right from wrong. Even when they're super, super unwell, they know like it builds up and they can access care. But like there's a place to go. Like if you go to a hospital and you say, I'm going to go and kill everyone, they're not going to let you go home. Like they're going to keep people safe. So, I mean, unless you don't mean it, you're just saying it. That's a whole other kettle of fish. That's a whole other thing because there are mental illnesses where people will say things so that they can get admitted because they want the attention. But that's a whole other illness, and there's a way of assessing that, and that's a whole other kettle of fish. But so they work so hard to be good and everything because they know right from wrong. So this man couldn't get a girlfriend, so he knew not to murder. He knew not to kill women, and yeah, he was like, not good. But we're not blaming ourselves for that. The system it needs funding, but men need to stop thinking they're allowed in any moral, anything aspect to attack women violently. And that ideology, the underlying women owe me. I'm owed a girlfriend. I'm so angry because women won't be with me. It's that underlying thought process that has only stemmed from what he's learned in his whole life, where he's been taught that it's okay to feel angry if a woman won't give you what you want from her. If he was raised in this next generation, I can't imagine he would grow up even feeling angry about that to the point of wanting to kill. It's the underlying values and thought system that is in him that has come out. And that's what we're talking about. It's not that someone was unwell enough to commit homicide. Yes, that happens a lot and the system is broken. Let's fund it. But the thoughts that he had to cause him to target women are very common in our society. Men feel they can get angry at women if women do not give them what they want from them. And I was raised that a woman should give a man what he wants always, no matter how the man treats her. She should keep giving and giving and giving and giving, because she is the loving, nurturing, caring one. And oh, well, that man's just stressed. That man's just not well at the moment. That man's just this, he's just that. Excuses, excuses. That's how I was raised, and I believed it. I believed that men come first, men are wiser, men are stronger, men are everything. I'm a woman, my job is to serve them and to care for them and not to complain. If you complain, you are crazy, therefore you must be punished, and a man has a right to punish you. I believed everything I was taught by society until I just woke up. And how did I wake up? I was educated by other women. Podcasts like this, TikToks, other women talking and saying, hey, the first one that went, wait a minute, what if we don't want to work, pay half the bills, come home from work tired, and then still have to serve them and do all the house chores, clean the house, and or look after the kids? What if we don't want to do all of that? And then another woman went, hey, yeah. So I want to express condolences to, I mean, no one really listens to this podcast. I can't imagine anyone really would. And this, if anyone is listening and you've never listened to my podcast before, and this is the first episode, holy shit. So, oh my gosh, do not listen to everything else. This is the worst podcast in the world. Like, I do not edit. It is unhinged. It is the worst. I'm just running my mouth. I used to have structure. I used to have format. I used to have sweepers. If you're in radio, you'll know what that is. I used to do all the things, and now I just sort of sit and run my mouth. There is an episode of a podcast I want to actually highlight in this episode of the podcast that really expresses my thoughts and feelings on this. I'm going to find it in my phone because, okay, so if you want to know what I'm trying to say awkwardly and you want to hear it from someone who has a podcast that's edited and has a podcast that's like professional and paid, and is making good money, like, and they're a celebrity, they're not just me, go to the podcast called It's a Lot with Abby Chatfield, and you can get it on like Spotify or wherever. And episode, they're not numbered, so it's called Solo: Hating Women is an Ideology. And she talks about the terror attack in Bondi and the murders on the women, and how we are just, it's my favorite episode of hers ever, because she speaks from the heart. She starts tearing up and she just says everything most of us women are feeling. The women who are still kind of brainwashed by patriarchy, like I was like that. I was 100% internalized misogynist because I was raised by that and I was a product of that, and I believed everything, and I believed the woman's role and how it differed from men, and I had no idea. And now I get it, and now I am shook at the things I used to think and the things I've put up with personally. And now I try and tell other women, and then they get it, and then they're like, oh, that's not good. And so, and men are angry and they're trying to silence us because they're like, crap, we're not going to have control of women anymore. And it's just, bleh. So she says it so well, and she just comes from the heart. And I like teared up listening to it, and I was just like, and I know so many did, because you just, those who get it. And you just like, this is not okay. It's not okay. And she actually lives where this happened. And she was about to pop out to that shop herself. And she ended up not going, but she was about to go that morning. And so she could have been any one of the women, like any woman could have been there. It could have been me. It could have been anyone. We could have been just walking through the shop, and it happened. And the women who were walking are now dead. And there's others fighting for their life, like in hospital. Like, and I think a lot of people go, oh, well, he killed one man. So it wasn't really just like, they don't, he was a security guard. He was trying to stop him. And he's like, get out of my way. You're not going to get out of my way. Okay, I'm going to stab you. So yeah, there's a lot, like, we're always going to be told we're crazy when we speak about it. We're always going to be silenced. And like my episode, I know no one really listens. And with her, she's just like, I know no straight men are listening right now. Straight white men are listening right now. And she's like, but I'm screaming into the void. And she was like, and I'm screaming with you, kind of thing. Like, it was just so powerful. Like, it was like, yes, it was an episode where she just said what we're all thinking. Like, I wish I could go for a walk at night. Like, do you know the person who, I think I've told this story before, the person who, but maybe not, tried to kill me. He was, really big, really muscles, huge, like giant. And I don't know, I just said, oh, I obviously can't go walking at night or something once. And he's like, oh, I never have thought of that. So women can't go walking at night. And he goes, I just go wherever I want, whenever I want. He said, I never even imagined like a woman can't walk at night, but I guess you can't. Oh, I've just gone anywhere I want anytime because I'm male and I'm big. And so no one annoys me. And I remember when I was with him saying, oh, I love the fact that we can go anywhere. We can go walking at nighttime. I love night walks in summer. They are the greatest. Oh, they're just so good. Because you can't get sunburnt, because here, if you go during the day, you're going to get skin cancer. I've had skin cancer, so that's just not fun at all. But they're just beautiful, and I can't. You can, okay, you can, but then when you have to go to court for the man who raped you, or someone has to go to court because they murdered you, or something happened. If something happens to you, it's on you, and you will be absolutely drilled by the defense barrister. Why were you out at night? Why were you there? Are you mentally ill? Because every woman knows not to be out at nighttime walking outside. You have to be inside a house, where I was nearly murdered in my own home as well by a man. So it's always your fault when you're female, no matter what. But I would love to be able to go walking at night. And I remember, while I was with him, we could go walking anytime, anywhere. We were even on holiday somewhere once, and it was a very, very dodgy area. And there were like gang young youths around, like Eshe, they're called Eshes, Eshe Bar or something. There were just these people who looked not safe. And if I had been alone, the 100% something would have, either just verbal harassment or physical something of some, like it, or being robbed, or like there was, I mean, you're like, oh, you're stereotyping. No, they were eyeing us up, like looking, oh, and then they saw him, went, yeah, no, and kept walking. It was an unsafe area, and we could just go anywhere we wanted, and I felt freedom. And I would often walk behind him. I have this thing where if you're with a guy in a relationship and he just walks in front of you all the time, that's a red flag, ladies. So I already told him that was a red flag, so he would not walk in front of me. But sometimes, when there's a crowd, I'd walk behind him for like a few seconds, And I watched, and the sea parts like the freaking Red Sea around him. You know, when you go to the shops and there's like a crowd and there's people would just part when they saw him. And I said to him, "Do you know that doesn't happen for women?" And he says, "Oh, I just keep walking. Like people just move for me." And so I tried it, and men would hit me. They would like shoulder shove me and literally run into me because the woman must. And I noticed this like little social thing where, you know, when you're in a crowded place and you're like walking on a footpath or something, it is expected the woman will move. And I just always move like, "Oh man, okay, I'm going to move. Sorry, sorry." Like that was just how I was raised by my personal family and society. It was just, you move out of the way. And he said he's never, ever once moved out of the way for someone ever on a footpath or in a shop or anywhere. He says, and I watch and it parts like the Red Sea for him. And the respect he got if he spoke to anyone in a business or a service role, he would get just the best service. And if he had to complain about something, all he had to do was say, "Oh yeah, this wasn't good." And they're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." And then I'd see like a female say the same thing and they'd just discredit them. They would say they're lying. They would gaslight them. It's their fault. And then the female would have to go, "No, no, and escalate the complaint. And then they're like, "Oh, women are crazy." He was believed. Everything he said, people believed the first time he said it. Hence, a successful smear campaign. uh, they're just seeing the difference in how he was treated. And there was one time, I don't know, he lied a lot. So you don't know what's real. But one time he was violent. One time of many. And I was hiding in the cupboard, which sounds dramatic. I only did that in like what, because if you engage with them, and I learned this in mental health as well, if you engage with someone who is elevated and aggressive and being violent, actively being violent, you become part of it. You're part of their scenario. You disengage when they're like that because you can't convince someone who's in that headspace like to be like a person, be normal, respect you. So you disengage. So I would try and disengage because and especially in domestic violence with a narcissist, they are trying to blame you. They are trying to pin it on you. They're trying their hardest to do reactive abuse. They're trying to Amber Heard you. They're trying to get you to throw something at them so they can go, "Oh, she abused me." I gave him nothing. So he had to shout down the hallway towards other people in the house. The things he had to shout, "Stop hurting me. Why are you hitting me?" He had to shout. And I'm just, while he's hitting me and he's like, or while I'm hiding, and he would just shout that so that people would believe because everyone believes him. But yeah, when I was hiding once and I was terrified and I think I cried, and I tried not to, I just treated it like, a patient that is elevated and everything. But there were times I was genuinely so freaking, it was very, scary and stuff. He later said, were you fake crying or you weren't actually scared, were you? Because as you know, a narcissist or a psychopath, everything they say or do is an act to get the response they want. So they assume everyone else's brain works the same as we do. I had no idea I was neurodivergent or different or weird because I assumed everyone else was the same. And it wasn't until I learned, oh no, people aren't, I am different. I'm not the same. So it's that kind of having no insight thing. Psychopaths and narcissists believe everyone else is playing the game. That people who cry, he's like, what's their goal? They're crying right now. What are they trying to get when they do that? What is that person trying to get when they say this? They think everyone thinks like them. So he was like, so when you were like crying and he said you actually looked scared, like, but you were just crying to like try and get a result out of me, weren't you? Like trying to get me to think or feel something, weren't you? Like, you weren't actually scared. And I was like, I was hiding in I'm a grown woman, grown adult, and I was hiding in a cupboard and ended up crying in fear, terrified of you. And you thought it was just an act. And he's like, yeah, I thought it was just an act. Like, every time a woman cries, they're just doing that because that's their gameplay, because they want a reaction from the crying. And I'm like, no, people cry because they have emotions. And I'm hiding because I'm genuinely, he thought I was hiding because it was like a game. I'm genuinely scared. And I'm trying to get space and disengage from you while you're like this. I'm not trying to, because you can't engage. You're gonna come out the bad guy. Like, you have to get space. And he would not, keeps following you around. So I'm trying to get a wall between us, like, hoping like, hurry up, get out of this mood or headspace or whatever is going on in your brain. So that was just showing that he is like a narcissist or a psychopath, and they actually believe everyone else is faking it as well. And he was just floored. He's like, so I scare you, like, you're scared of me. I'm like, you could kill me with one hand, which he ended up nearly doing. Fun fact. You could murder me in one second. He's like, yeah, I could. I really could. And then he gloated about how he did a one punch attack on a man. Oh, get this. I don't know if I've told you. He did a one punch. I think I did. One punch attack on a man at a kid's birthday party in a park. And the man has permanent injuries for the rest of his life. His thug brother-in-law rocked up at the man's house and threatened his family if he didn't drop the charges, and made like gang kind of like, we're going to come up, we know where you live, we're going to come after you if you don't drop the charges. And the charges were just like assault. So the guy went to the police and dropped the charges. And this guy has permanent injuries or some permanent disability or something going on. Like, he wasn't a vegetable. Like, I've seen one punch vegetables in hospital, and it's the most distressing thing you'll ever see. Like, it's horrific. But this man was affected for the rest of his life in some capacity. And I don't know if he could work again or whatever, but yeah, they went over and threatened him to get him to drop the charges. And he's just telling me this matter of factly. And I believe he regrets telling me, because then when I would like bring it up when he was being violent with me, he's like, oh, no. And he tried to like backtrack or something. I think that was a little boo-boo on his part, telling me that story and how he literally got away with assault. And he got away with assaulting a woman and torturing her for 7 years. And he like, all these crimes he got away with. And that's this whole thing. Like, they're just getting away with stuff. And then with me, like, I'm not even the first. And he finally went to prison for like a year. And then he did it to someone else while on parole and went back for like 2 months. Like, the system is systeming. The system designed by white men hundreds of years ago. It's just doing its thing. What do you expect from a system designed by white men hundreds of years ago? So the fact that men just, they don't even know what it's like to feel that fear. And I never really thought about it consciously, because we're taught from little girls, like, don't wear this, don't go there, don't go there. And I remember being in like knee-high boots when they're in fashion in like 1998, I'll show my age, and like a little dress in the club. I was a teenager, and I was 18, 19. And I was like in the club, and I'd like walk to another club by myself. I did that like 2 times or something. And I had to go through like this dark alley in one thing, and I had to go through the city from one side of the city to the other. And I remember looking back on that like a decade later and thinking, gosh, I was lucky. I should not have done that. I was so lucky. I didn't get raped or killed when I did that. I was walking alone in the city at night. Like, how stupid, what a stupid girl, stupid, stupid, stupid. And then now I'm like, why did I not have the right? Like, lucky nothing happened. Because if it did, it would have been like, I would have been in trouble. Like, it would have been my fault. Like, why were you there? Why were you doing that? Where is the law that says women aren't allowed to leave their homes at night? They have to be in their home with their abuser, not outside with like a possibility of a fresh abuser. What, like, there is no law, but it's an unwritten thing that, well, you're going to get destroyed by defense because there's this unwritten rule that women should not be out at night without a male suitor. And yeah, I just thought about that and I thought, stuff it. We should be allowed to go out at night. We shouldn't have to have a male with us, a male who could kill us anyway, but we have to trust that that male won't kill us. Or, like when I was with my abuser, I was safe from other men because I was his property, but I wasn't safe from him. But then again, I wasn't safe from other men in that he would protect me in a loving, caring way. He could easily just let the men do what they want to me. And they often do throw you under the bus in certain social settings and situations. So you can't fully, like, you can't trust, obviously, you can't trust a narcissist, but you know what I mean. So yeah, just reflecting on that. And now women, like during the day, can get murdered at the shops, but they're like, oh, it's a one off because of a mental health issue. And it's actually the system's fault because, we're not looking after our unwell men enough. It's like, but it's the underlying ideology. It's the underlying thought that women, that man should have been able to get a partner. And if women are rejecting him because women now know their worth and don't want to be treated poorly, and if he's being quite not nice to women, obviously you end up murdering him. Some probably didn't treat them nice on dates or whatever, one could assume. But yeah, it's just really sad about how the thought behind it is just so common. And I grew up thinking that too. Like, well, I remember being so scared to reject men that I don't know, I'm trying to think. I would not want to reject people because also I knew what it felt like to be rejected. So like, I was like, I don't want to do that to someone. But the fear, I remember every time if you get to reject someone, you're just like, please don't hurt me. Please don't hurt me. Like you literally thinking that, but you're not consciously thinking it. But now we're all aware that you, if you say no to someone, there's a high chance they're going to attack you. And even like when I was on dating apps, I haven't been on dating apps for like ever, but like when I was back in the day, like if you said politely like that you weren't interested in someone and you said it in the most nicest way you can possibly frame it, like here's women actively trying to be nice to not get hurt, the men would still go, you freaking slut whore bag, you're ugly, you're this, you're that, and they would like attack you, they would abuse you because you didn't give them what they wanted. And I think the women who are still in internalized misogyny are still giving a man what he wants to keep themselves safe, but they're not even consciously aware of it. And I wasn't when I was like that. So yeah, it's pretty sad. But everything is, yeah, I don't know. I'm not even anyone. I'm not in the media. No one listens, so everything's alleged or whatever. I don't want to really get too opinionated on the whole thing, but I just don't think women should be killed or hurt anymore in any capacity for any reason. I'm not going to, like, I don't want to deep dive into him and his mental health or that specific situation. I just want to say, like, women women are not women. Women are people. You know, when a man uses the word woman in a sentence as like a slur instead of person, say, oh, that person didn't give me all my change back or something. That woman, because you know how men snap the word woman? That woman, because hearing woman makes people instantly hate. Like it's a subconscious thing that makes people instantly disrespect. And that's why you go, oh, that stupid woman did this. That person didn't give me my change back. They're never going I've not heard many men use the word person. It's always woman or that. Yeah. Because or when the ones that go female, yeah, that woman, and they say it in like, yeah, as a slur. Yeah. Anyway, uh, I'm gonna go. I really like I need like hopefully my ADHD medication like works and I can actually try and bring a little more professionalism back to the podcast. I obviously have just let it go to full shit. Like I've just let it go all the way to the shit. If there is shit, I've gone there and I'm just sitting in it. And I'm just going, maybe not because I want to give you what you want and what I assume you want is just me just sharing all the freaking stuff, sharing everything I've been through, sharing all the tea time. Every episode, no matter what I talk about, clearly today, I mentioned like what happened in Bondi. Oh, rest in peace. Like, I don't even want to say rest in peace because I don't want them to be dead. Like, it's bullshit. And I'm so sorry to those women and their families that they have lost their lives. That is, and that baby whose mum lost their mum. Oh, it's beyond. It's beyond. It's beyond. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry a man murdered you. I'm sorry that no one stopped him from doing that. No one saw him stabbing a baby and then tackled him and stopped him. Like, he just kept going. And the only person that stopped him was a police officer with a gun. And I say police officer with a gun. I don't do what the media did and said, a female police officer shot him. You know, they're not police officers and female police officers. They're all police officers. She is a trained professional police officer. She's not a female police officer. She's just a police officer. For fuck's sake. All the media kept going, female police officer shot him. Like, oh my gosh, everyone, we're the media. Can you believe a woman did her job? Can you believe a woman did a man's job and shot him? Can you believe a woman shot a gun and like it actually aimed correctly and did the job and killed the offender? Can you believe a woman did a thing? A female police officer? No. A police officer who is amazing, really good aim, really good shot, did their job very well and should be commended for that. But not commended because, oh my gosh, it's a woman. All that does is show that anyone who goes, oh, it was a female police officer, is, if someone says that, that person has internalized misogyny or externalized because they have been taught by society that women are not as skilled as men. Women are less than men. Women cannot do jobs that were always given to the men in the past. They have that mentality. So anyone's like, oh, a female police officer. It's like, why would you think that that's something to celebrate and think, wow, when women actually are so intelligent, so skilled? Why is that surprise to you? Just explore that if it is a surprise that a woman shot him. Because I know there's a lot of us women who would like to shoot any man who murders women for no reason. Because there is no reason to murder women. They just like doing it. But coming back to that point, I would like to be a little more professional. Maybe try and get some musical sweepers or something. I don't know. I'm so sorry that I've just let it go to shit and just run my mouth. You can edit. I mean, you can edit. You can it starts with E. You can email me. The email is liabfpodcast, all one word, @gmail.com, and let me know your opinion. Do you want me to go back to attempting to sound like a professional podcast? Oh, there won't be ads because I'm no one. No one's gonna. What could I advertise? What could I advertise relating to DV besides Hyrodoid bruise cream? Because I used so much of that when I was in DV. That is sad to think about. Ice packs. Literally. CCTV. Maybe I can get Uniden to sponsor me. Like, yeah, some CCTV to keep you safe. But I just think that's just ugh. Sponsorship for domestic violence. It's just ugh. So no, it'll never be like that. But do you want it to be more professional and edited and no freaking talking out of turn and just everything is neat? Or do you want me just to run my mouth, go with the flow, share my stories, hashtag overshare, hashtag TMI, and just be rough and messy like it has become lately? Let me know. Email me. If you weren't sure of that email, you can, if it's Spotify, you can like click on, you know how it says what the episode's about, like the little blurb under the episode? You click on more and it says it in there. You can email me, and I've just put a little thing in there going, can people stop sending me advertising? I was getting all these emails going, we'll edit your podcast for you. And they're trying to like make money. And it's like, why am I giving you money? Okay, you can have a percentage of my earnings. So a percentage of $0 is still $0. So go nuts. And just all this, and I'd be like, oh, I got an email from a listener, and it's like spam, just like people trying to make money out of you and get you to like, I don't know, just give them money for like, because they think you're some vulnerable podcaster who's making, but they think you're making like 100 grand or something, and they can make like 10 grand out of you for doing like F all or something. I don't know. I don't know how the real ones that make the money work. But yeah, I'd like to hear from you. That would be great. All right. Cheers. Cheers. Stay safe. Like, honestly, please stay safe. And you know what? When I say stay safe, maybe I should change that. Yeah, frick it. I'm going to change that because you know what? Don't stay safe. Don't. Walk. Okay. No, fuck it. I went to say, no, stay home. Be a woman in a house at night. Go for a walk at night. Oh, please don't die. Please, men don't. No, not please don't die. Please, men don't kill her. Please, men don't rape her. Please, men don't rob her. Please, men don't be violent with her. Please, men walk past and leave her alone. Go for a walk at night. Go to your shopping centre. Walk anywhere you want. Be free. I'd like to say take your shirt off. When you see a man with his shirt off, you take your shirt off, but you will be arrested. I'd like to say have pepper spray on you in case a man attacks you, but that's illegal in Australia. Women aren't allowed to defend themselves. Men are allowed to carry around muscle mass. Men are allowed to carry around testosterone-fueled muscle mass, which means they could kill us with their bare hands. So their weapon is on them at all times. But a woman having pepper spray to try and be almost on par with a man, no, we're not going to let you be on par with a man. A man's allowed to control you. He's allowed to beat you around. You're not allowed to have pepper spray to stand up for yourself. That's a weapon. Yeah, so are muscles. Because that's what held me hostage and murdered me. Like, literally. I nearly lost my life because of male muscle mass. We were a similar size at the time, but his male muscle mass compared to my female, that was his weapon of choice. Lucky there aren't guns in Australia. Honestly, if we had access to guns in Australia like they do in America, I would 100% be dead. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Like, and that's the last, oh my gosh, that's a point. Sorry, we're not going. That is a huge point I wanted to say today. America can take a leaf out of our book for this one. This man did a terrorist attack trying to kill as many women as possible with a knife. So he was only able to kill so many women. Like, I think, apologies. I haven't memorized. I think it was 5 women and 1 man and others injured. I'm so sorry if I got that wrong. I really apologize. But I really should have checked beforehand. But again, hashtag unprofessional AF. So, which, isn't something to gloat about, especially in this instance. So I do apologize that it's disrespectful to not know how many, because I have tried not to deep dive with the media with this, because I actually get a bit triggered with how the media present it, and present it as, well, we're not caring for men enough, rather than men are killing women, well, we're not caring for men enough. This man needed more care, rather than this man shouldn't, no matter how unwell he was, he probably shouldn't have killed women. Please, maybe, please. Yeah, that's women. Please don't kill us, please. How dare you speak against us? Every woman on like the comment section who says, I've been raped, and stuff, blah, 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 please don't rape me or please don't hurt me. The men attack them like something fierce. And it's just like, when, like, they, why is that offensive? Like, if you're not raping and attacking women, like, that shouldn't offend you at all. And the ones that do get offended and react are, I know of you. Yeah, they're guilty as charged. They just don't want to start not getting away with living their best life. So, my point was, America can take a leaf out of this, because it's like, if that man had access to a gun when he had those homicidal thoughts, 100% he would have got a gun. You think he's going to use a knife? You're not going to take a knife to a gun show. Is that like a saying? You don't bring a knife to a gun show, or you don't bring a... Anyway, that's a saying, sorry, and I don't know. It means you don't come ill prepared, is the saying. But if he had access to a gun, like if he could walk in a store, give him his license, whatever, grab a gun, or walk into Walmart, if we had Walmarts with guns, 100% he would have massacred so many women would have lost their lives and children that day. That baby would be dead. He stood there stabbing it more than once. That takes a while. So if he had a gun, he would have just shot it, shot the mum, shot it. Like, the amount of damage he would have done. So America, like, anyone who's like, we had a stabbing, and it's like the worst thing in like so many years, because, and if it was a gun, it would have been horrific. And so gun laws are so, so important. They're so important. All right. That's enough from me. I'm out. Don't stay safe. Live your best life, because there are no rules and laws saying women can't live their best life. So instead of saying stay safe, I want to say, even though males don't really listen, I want to say stop murdering and raping women, men. Okay, that sounds kind of weird. I don't know. I'll think of something else. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll keep saying stay safe and I'll forget that I wasn't going to say it. No. When I used to say stay safe, what I was trying to say was, get away from the narcissist because they suck, or more power to you as you gain knowledge and make a plan to escape your current domestic violence situation. That's what I meant. Stay safe as in empowering you to get away from these people. But now I realize it can be taken. Like, it's not good. It's not your responsibility to stay safe. Get away from these people, but it's not your fault. It is not your fault. The justice system is the only thing that questions if it's our fault, unfortunately. They question if we are perfect enough to get justice. And to get justice, the victim must be perfect. Or if they can find a way to swindle anything negative against the victim, they will go to a full trial and destroy you and try and get him off. Because that's what the system does. So I guess I got justice because I'm like #perfect. No, that is not the case. It's like winning the lotto. Anyway, see ya. You are legends and it's not your fault. Love you. Bye.